All right, let's crack the code on a part of English grammar that trips almost everyone up. Stative verbs. You know, those verbs that just sound weird with an ing at the end? We're going to figure out why. Okay, to get started, let's dive right in with a super simple scenario. Picture a chef, right? He's in his kitchen, maybe he's trying out a new soup recipe.
So, here's a little puzzle for you. Both of these sentences are describing what's happening in that exact moment. But for some reason, one of them just sounds wrong. Any idea why?
I mean, think about it. We could say the chef is cooking. That makes perfect sense. It's an action happening right now. So why can't we say he isn't liking it? His feeling of dislike is also happening right now, isn't it?
Well, the secret is that English verbs kind of live in two totally different worlds. You've got the world of action, verbs for things you do, and then you have the world of state, verbs for things you feel or are.
So let's explore that second world, the world of states. This is where we find what grammarians call stative verbs.
A stative verb is basically a word that describes a condition, not something you're actively doing. A good way to think about it is like a photograph versus a movie. An action verb is the movie, stuff is happening. A stative verb is the photograph, it just captures a state of being, a feeling, a thought, or something you own.
And here's some of the usual suspects. Just listen to how strange they sound if you try to add ing to them. I am knowing the answer, or she is owning a car. See, it just doesn't work, because these words describe a constant condition.
So the real key here is getting good at spotting the difference, knowing when a verb is being used for an action versus when it's just describing a condition. And this is where things get really cool.
Because, and here's the twist, some verbs are like little superheroes with a secret identity. They can actually be both. Depending on how you use them, they can describe an action or a state.
Let's go back to our chef. When we say he is tasting the soup, that's an action. You can picture him lifting the spoon, right? But when we say the soup tastes salty, the soup isn't doing anything. We're just describing its characteristic, its state.
Here's another perfect example of that same idea. Jane is smelling the flowers. She's actively leaning in and inhaling. That's an action. But the flowers themselves, they just smell good. They exist in that state.
And one last one to really drive it home. I am looking is a deliberate action. You're pointing your eyes at something. But if I say, you look cold, I'm not describing something you're doing, I'm describing your appearance, your current state.
Okay, so let's get these common shape-shifting verbs all organized in one place. Seeing them laid out side by side like this makes the whole pattern just click.
This chart is just perfect. Look, on the left, you've got the stative meaning, a general belief, possession, or perception. But on the right, you see that exact same verb being used for a temporary active process. The gears literally turning in your brain, or you're experiencing something, or you're at a scheduled meeting.
All right, you're in on the secret now, so let's do a quick knowledge check. Let's see if you can spot the correct verb form in the wild.
Okay, first question up. Think about the verb belong. Is ownership something you actively do moment to moment? Or is it just a state of being?
That's it. Belongs is a classic stative verb. Ownership is a state, not some continuous action. You just wouldn't say it is belonging. Great job.
Okay, last one for you. When you look at someone and notice a resemblance, are you performing an ongoing action like seeing a doctor? Or is it just the state of perceiving something with your eyes?
You got it. See, in this case, means to perceive or recognize, and that's a state. You aren't actively meeting with your father's face, you just see the resemblance. Perfect. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this simple trick. The next time you're about to use a verb with ing, just take a half-second pause and ask yourself, is this an action or is it a state? Getting that right is a huge leap forward in sounding more natural. You know, this really shows that grammar isn't just about memorizing a bunch of boring rules. A lot of the time, it's about understanding a deeper logic, a secret identity. It kind of makes you wonder what other secrets are hiding in plain sight in the English language.